There's a full moon eclipse this week, and it's going to be big. Welcome to the Mainly Moonology podcast. I'm your host, Yasmin Boland, an award-winning astrologer and the Sunday Times best-selling author of books including Moonology and creator of the Moonology Oracle cards. My intention for this podcast is to help you understand how you can create your dream life using mainly Moonology, the moon, as your guide. Hey everybody, it's Yasmin Boland here. Look, I don't normally do this, but given that we have a full moon eclipse this week, I thought what I would do is I would refer to and even read from my Moonology Diary 2022. That's the diary I publish every year with Hay House. The 2023 one is now on sale, moonologydiary.com. We'll get you to it. I'll repeat that at the end of the broadcast. But first of all, just have a listen here, because every month, in fact, every fortnight in the diary, I give some sort of keywords or key phrases for the lunation. So for each new moon and each full moon, but of course also for every new moon eclipse and every full moon eclipse. We've just had the new moon eclipse 2 weeks ago, and now we're about to have the full moon eclipse, and it's quite a big one. So the phrases that I put together for the Moonology Diary for this full moon eclipse are: number one, let it go. So what in your life do you need to let go of right now? What has happened that you just need to release and move on from? Maybe you've been through some terrible times. Maybe you've been through some difficult times. Maybe someone's really hurt you. Maybe you've really upset someone. Now is the time to just let it go. Okay, so the second key phrase that I want to bring to your mind for this eclipse is, are you ready? Make a radical move. Make a radical move. Now, what in your life would be a radical thing for you to do? What is it in your life that you want to change? What would be the really radical thing to do? Now, I'm not suggesting you go off and do something completely crazy. You know, it's more something like having the courage to just do that thing, you know, taking your life in your hands and doing that crazy thing. Nothing bad. Don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt anyone else. I'm not saying that. It's really important to really stress that. But what would be a radical way to turn your life around for the better? Okay, so making a radical move. Also, phrase number 3, work on your shadow. Work on your shadow. Now, this is an interesting one because it's a full moon eclipse. It's often said that eclipses, and full moon eclipses in particular, reveal your shadow. So what would that mean to you? What part of you have you not accepted that you now need to accept? What behavior of your own are you not happy about and you can work on? Work on that part of you that you don't love. Work on that part of you that you don't want everybody else to know about. Obviously, our shadow side is not always our best face. That's the whole point of identifying the shadow side. It's about understanding the part of us that we're not proud of, that we don't necessarily want to talk about. And it's about working on that part of us and accepting it and accepting that it needs work. All right. And last but definitely not least, maybe it's time to change your mind about something. There's such a strong feeling of change with this full moon eclipse. Full moon eclipses are always about change, about the end of an era, the start of a new era. They're about releasing your grip on something which you know is no good for you, or changing your patterns, changing your habits, or changing your mind. So as I said, I don't usually do this because obviously I prefer that you buy my Moonology diary. But given that this is an eclipse, I'm going to read to you what's in the diary for this lunation, for this eclipse. So full moon eclipses are always intense, but this one, this week, in fact, might have even just happened by the time you hear this, depending on when you listen, but it's still be in effect. It's actually going to be in effect for 6 months, but now is the most intense period. This one promises to be all that and more, so more than just intense. For one thing, it's taking place in the sign of Taurus, which is the sign associated with money, okay? In other words, it will be interesting to watch the international money markets this week. There could be some big changes. And having just spent a couple of weeks in the States, I can tell you this eclipse is going to be playing out in the American midterms. There could be some surprises. Moreover, it would be a good time to think about money on a more individual level for all of us. It's a very good time to make some changes where cash is concerned and to turn the corner where money is concerned. How would you need to turn the corner? How do you need to turn the corner when it comes to money? If you've been doubting yourself or selling yourself short financially, this eclipse is the time to tap into making changes. So think about how you can turn the corner financially. What do you need to do? I'm actually thinking about offering a Moonology money mastermind. So that's one change I'm thinking of making. Anyway, these are not the only reasons why this is a pretty amazing and potentially electrifying eclipse. Before we continue, I just want to tell you a little bit about my Moonology Diary 2023. I've been publishing this diary with Hay House every year since 2019. It's a gorgeous little book that fits in your handbag and gives you all the information you need about every new and full moon of the year. You get an interpretation of how each new and full moon will play out, as well as simple instructions for how to work out which part of your life is going to be affected by each lunation and eclipse. Plus, you get fortnightly exercises to do with every new or full moon to make the most of every lunation and every eclipse, and an overview of the year ahead, as well as monthly overviews of every month as well. The 2023 version has also had a redesign, so it's even more gorgeous, and honestly, we have been getting amazing feedback on it. It's out now, available in all good bookshops and on Amazon, but if you want to get a pile of free bonuses that also come with the diary, go to moonologydiary.com and grab your copy from there and register it. Okay, so this eclipse is taking place near the planet of radical change and sudden turnarounds, Uranus. Okay, in fact, the full moon at the time of the eclipse, the full moon is going to be bang on the planet Uranus, what astrologers call partile. That means that the full moon and the planet Uranus are on the exact same degree of the zodiac. In other words, they are both strongly implicated in this eclipse, and that means it's time to hang on to your hats because sudden changes are possible now. So the secret with all full moon eclipses, but in particular with this one, is to let go of what no longer serves you. If you're clinging on to someone or something in your life which you know is toxic, it could be a bad dietary habit, it could be drinking habits, it could be anger, it could be upset, it could be a relationship. If you're clinging on with it and continuing with it for all the wrong reasons, take a hint from the skies this week and let it go before the eclipse hits. Okay, or if you haven't managed to do it now. Releasing what no longer serves you voluntarily is much easier than having the eclipse unceremoniously rip it away. So there you go. And also every new and full moon in the Moonology Diary, I offer up an exercise. And again, I don't usually do this, but because it's an eclipse, I'm going to share it. So the exercise for this week from the Moonology Diary 2022, and the 2023 one is now on sale, but it sells out every year. So if you don't have your copy yet, grab it now. This week, try some automatic writing, okay? If you've never done it before, grab a pen and a blank sheet of paper, okay? And at the top of the piece of paper, write these words. What did I come to this earth to achieve? It's a big one, I know, but it's an eclipse. What did I come to this earth to achieve? Question mark. Take a deep breath and allow the answers to flow. Just let your pen move, okay? Even if you think it's you that's making it up, allow for the possibility that you are tapping into your higher self. Eclipses are always time to get back on the path that you came here to tread when you incarnated on this planet this time around. So on some level, your higher self knows exactly what that was. So ask yourself, higher self, come through to me. What did I come to this planet to achieve? So I'm going to end this week's podcast with a chant, and I'm going to let it run for 9 minutes. So you may decide you want to listen to it now or listen to it later. I'll be doing a Facebook ceremony where we're going to be chanting. Have a look at my page, Yasmin Bola Moonology on Facebook. But it's the best chant to do at the time of the full moon, but especially at a full moon eclipse. It's Om Namo Narayani. Many of you will know it because I chant it all the time, and it means I surrender to the divine, or I surrender to the Divine Mother. They are Sanskrit vibrations. Om Namo Narayani. And I'm going to suggest that if you can, especially if you're listening to this on your earbuds or headphones, just do it as a meditation now if you can. Obviously, not if you're driving. But do it as a meditation now if you can, and just let it wash over you. And as you do it, just set the intention to release anything you need to release to the divine. Here we go. Om Namo Narayani. 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 Om Namo Om Namo Narayani. 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 Om Namo Eclipses are times when portals open up to a new life. Surrender whatever you need to release to the divine and move on from the past. Have a great week. I hope you've enjoyed this week's Mainly Moonology podcast. If you've enjoyed it, please subscribe, give us a review, and we'll be eternally grateful. We publish the podcast every Monday, 4 p.m. UK time, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, and I'm afraid to say it's silly o'clock in Australia, but it will be there when you wake up on a Tuesday morning. Have a great week.